All right, everyone. This is From the Margins with my dear friend, Jimmy Afant, local Central Florida attorney extraordinaire, a great friend, a great mentor, a stamp collector, and one of the best guys, the most knowledgeable about Florida politics and national politics. Welcome, Jimmy.
How are you? How's your week been?
Woo! Just another typical busy week, Jimmy. But you know how it is. If it's not busy, then what am I doing? So I'm
Oh,
trying to
it's
stay
like
out of trouble.
it's like when people say, "How was your day?" The fact that I have a day is great. If I didn't, that would be bad. So
Exactly.
the alternative is bad. So yes. So are we ready to discuss the shutdown?
Oh, yes, Jimmy. There has been so much conversation about, first of all, who is this good for? And then, second of all, who's going to be damaged by a government shutdown as far as the political parties?
Neither. We have reached a point in our politics, if you think about it. If Trump says that the sky is green, the MAGA people, the sky is green. If Trump blames the Democrats for anything, his people are going to believe him. If Trump says that the sky is blue, the Democrats are not going to believe him. We are so divided that no matter what happens, it's not going to change those Democrats who say, oh, well, this is bad. I'm not going to vote Republican.
Yeah.
Or this is bad what President Trump is doing. I'm going to vote Democrat. No.
Yeah.
People are trenched in their beliefs. The shutdown proves how bad our country has reached.
Woo.
We don't listen to each other. They sat down for half an hour. I think it was more for to make the press and some people happy that they discussed it. But the Republicans were not going to change their posture, and the Democrats were not going to change their posture. They didn't talk to each other. They talked at each other, and that is the problem. People have been putting themselves, I am blue or I am red, and the blues don't talk to the red, and the rest don't talk to the blue. And if you're a Republican, you're wrong. If you're a Democrat, and if you're a Republican and you're a Democrat, you eat kids. Uh, it's got to that point. This
Yeah.
country sitting down negotiating. Look, they should have sat down and negotiated. Okay, I understand your concern about Obamacare, and I understand your concerns that you don't trust us, that in December we're going to fund it, and that it's going to go unfunded, and that we're trying to trick you. Okay, what can we work out here as a compromise? That part of our politics has gone, is disappeared, is no longer there. But is it only our politics or is our general? Look, right now, you ask a Republican to tell you three things that the Democrat Party has been doing that is correct, and they'll give you five that they've done bad.
Yeah.
You ask a Democrat to give you three things that the Republicans are doing well, and they'll give you 10 that they're doing wrong. They don't talk, and it's reached a point that I hate to use this word, but I have to. I think Americans have reached a point that they hate each other, and that is our decline. You want to talk about artificial intelligence, you want to talk about the dangers of creating campaigns with artificial intelligence that are lying. Well, that's not the concern. That the seed has been seeded by Chinese and Russian IAs for years, and we are stupid enough to allow this to work. We are stupid enough to say whatever it says. I'll give you an example. I know a member of my family that depends on Social Security, depends on Medicare, and takes medication.
Okay.
When President Trump this week said, "I am putting tariffs of 100% on medication that's not made in the United States," and for the record, the only place in the United States that they make medication is in the colony of Puerto Rico. No other place.
Right.
There's no, and he put it this, and this is where it becomes interesting. He put it on the ones made in Canada and Europe. The
Okay.
majority of medications are made in the Philippines. Everybody knows that.
Right.
But it didn't go there. He sat down with Pfizer and worked out a deal
Right.
for 3 years. Pfizer has to bring their factories back. Pfizer made an approach to the governor of Puerto Rico to reopen some of their factories, and they said could, and this is the key word, could be operational in 3 years. And the government of Puerto Rico said, well, if you could get some federal incentives, which they have not gotten yet, so basically it's all hogwash. Okay. Uh, the other companies that are in Canada and are in Europe, let's get this clear. One of the companies that is in Europe is Madonna. Does that name
Okay.
sound familiar to you?
Yes, they're the one of the creators of the vaccine.
And they do produce medicine that is used in the United States of America. And some of the medicines that support our TV stations. And what do
Oh,
you mean by support TV stations?
okay.
Get the revenues of TV stations, and they will tell you that 42% of all the ads run on TV are pharmaceuticals. And when I say that, but people say, that's right. Every time I'm watching TV, they give me a pill for this miracle, for that miracle.
Right.
And let's get this clear. Pharmaceuticals are medicines. There is we don't know what percentage because they're not classified individually. But if you talk about the little pills that you put under your tongue, or the buy this artificial Viagra or Cialis at 87 cents, those ads are not considered pharmaceutical. But
Oh,
uh,
really?
no, no,
Oh, shit.
they're not
Okay.
because they're not produced for health purposes.
Oh, Jimmy.
So when they tell you 42%, it is really your Ozempic, your Wisep, and all those others, because those are considered either for diabetic or those are not. Okay, so and those commercials are a lot on TV, but they're not in that category of 42%. So if you're thinking that includes them, it doesn't. Here's where it becomes interesting.
Okay.
Guess who's going to pay 100% more for the medicines?
Oh, it's
You and
going to
me.
be the American people.
Uh, and the pharmaceutical has always known, and this is the truth, that if we tell you it's $20, you're going to pay it because it's your health. Right now, for years, we know that the insulin, even though they try to control it, is becoming very expensive for those of people who need it to live. Not to, it's just a little thing they needed to live, but that's beside the point. It comes from Europe and it comes from Canada. So get prepared to pay more for it, not because they raised the price, but because your government has raised the price. As a matter of fact, right now as we speak, you know that there's a lot of medication that they give you for free
Correct.
because uh, basically Medicaid and Medicare pay 100% for it. That's not going
Right.
to happen anymore.
And that's what I was going to ask Jimmy about the government healthcare programs like Medicare and Medicaid. Um, they purchase drugs, Medicare, at supposedly for some of the drugs at a savings for the American people. So would those tariffs affect those purchases if they were purchased from
Yeah,
out of the country?
he put it over the border. But listen to his last words he said that he's open to negotiations.
Right.
And that means you deposit a couple of millions in my bid thing,
Is
and I'll
Trump
make an
saying?
exception for you. So this is a lot of hogwash, but the Republicans are all happy about this because this is going to bring back the manufacturing of our pills in the United States because we really, and this is how racist we've become. And I'm going to say
Okay.
this: how
Okay.
racist we've become. The fact that they're produced in Canada,
Mhm.
Europe, or the Philippines, or even with the Bad Bunny phenomena, even in Puerto Rico, mm, those are not reliable medications. But people, there are none that are produced here. Okay, let's stop the pretending. Uh, why? Again, because it's cheaper. Yesterday, I had an executive of Nabisco come in, and I helped him prepare as well. And I asked him, "Oh, I know the history of Nabisco." He says, "What history are you going to talk to me about?" "Oh, I'm going to talk to you about how it was founded and where it came from. And it was an agglomerate of different bakers that got together." So, okay, you're right. And that you went to Canada because it was cheaper to produce your cookies there. And
Mm-hmm.
then Mexico offered you a offer that for your cookies, and you went to Mexico, and none of your cookies are produced in the United States. And he looked at me and says, "You're right. We don't produce any cookies in the United States. Nabisco does not produce cookies in the United States. Pepsi is owned. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. Pepsi, Pizza Hut,
Okay.
Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Pepsi owns Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, and Taco
Yes,
Bell.
that's
Okay?
right.
And guess who owns that company?
Nabisco.
No, a Chinese company called Yum Chino.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously, Jimmy?
Yes. Seriously. When you go to the stock market, anybody can buy. That's what people do not understand. The Chinese went and they went to the stock market. They bought out.
The majority.
I have from my grandmother. She purchased a stock for Pepsi in 1937 at a penny a stock,
Mm,
literally, because it was opening and it was like what you would call. And she lost a lot of money doing that. For the record, she just
ooh,
think she lost that because she bought some companies that sounded good, but but Pepsi took off. And
yes.
every time they pay me my 25 or $27 in dividends, they have a thing they're saying that they will give me $14,000, no questions asked, for my stock.
No.
And as a stockholder, they found out who owns stock, and they went and made them offers, and they bought them out. Nothing illegal of what they did,
Right?
but what I'm trying to say, it's owned by a Chinese company. So it's always interests me that people think that America, you know,
Yes.
Coca-Cola is still owned by uh, in the United States, and it's because of family that owns it. But Chick-fil-A, yes, still is a company that is here, and but and that's why. And let me prove to you something that is interesting. The largest conglomerate of Kentucky Fried Chicken is in Asia. You know that, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
No, you know why?
Yep. Ha!
Well, this is American has come out to kind of an interesting thing. So, yes, the shutdown is going to be the result of us not talking to each other.
Yeah.
The shutdown is the result of I am right and you are wrong. The shutdown is the result of I know what's best for America and you don't. The shutdown is the result of the Chinese and Russia influence in the last 20 years in our politics that has got it to a point that we're so polarized
Yes.
that if I joked the other day with somebody say, "Hey, why don't you take this position?" And they looked at me, "Well, if I take that position, I'm going to hurt the other party." I say, "No, you're going to hurt the position you took." Really? Yes. The credibility that you think that you have is not going to be. You're Republicans who's going to go and talk in front of a group of elected Democrats, and because you say you think this is good, they're going to go the other way, simply because you're a Republican. That's how divided this country is. I mean, uh,
That's insane.
now if you're a Democrat, a conservative is a dirty word. If you're a Republican, a liberal is a dirty word. And if you are a moderate, nobody's listening to you.
And that's pretty sad, Jimmy. That's very sad. Um, Democrats were hoping that their position on health care would gather support for them and not voting in support of the current resolution, continuing resolution. Is that is that a good decision by the Democrats to use health care like they've done in the past when they've had differences in regards to these continuing resolutions? It worked for them in the past. Is it worth it this time around?
Okay, let's go to a couple of months behind.
Okay.
When Chuck Schumer
Mm-hmm.
decided to find seven of his senators that he controls,
Mm-hmm.
and they walked in and they gave the Republicans the continuing resolution until September 30th. He was chastised by Jeffries. He was
Mm-hmm.
chastised by many Democrats. Can we agree on that one?
Yes, we can.
Uh, did he get anything in exchange for him helping them out? No, he didn't.
No.
So he just caved in.
Yes.
Got nothing in exchange. This time around, they're saying, look, in December 31st, ends the subsidies of Obamacare. In the great, beautiful bill right now, it severely impacts Medicare and Medicaid.
Correct.
It reduces it. Try to pretend that it doesn't. No, it does. If they want to continue resolution, ask them for this. I don't think they've committed a mistake by saying, hey, I'm willing to work with you, but I want this in exchange. That is not a problem. The problem is this: the Republicans are not going to vote for you no matter what you do, no
True.
matter what you say. And the Democrats want to see a backbone because even I have been critical in this program, and I will
Mm-hmm.
accept it, to say that the Democrats had no plan B, had no backbone, they were doing nothing, and that. So it would be hypocritical now to say, hey, now that you did something to show some backbone, you did it wrong. No, could you done it differently? Not really. What else can you ask for? You want to ask for uh, pensions, or you want to ask for to cut down the military? No, that's not even popular. Health care is there, and you're showing to the whole country. By the way,
Okay.
on December 31st, the subsidy the government gives you for your health care plan is about to die. And
Yeah.
come January, or either you pay the whole premium or you're screwed. And
Yes.
by the way, without the money, Obamacare is more of a title than it is a reality.
That's true.
So basically, what they're saying, if they keep the campaign saying, hey, just give us the health care and we'll vote for a continuing resolution. Just give us the health care and we will. Yes. And Carvel says it's all about the economy, stupid. Well, the economy is about healthcare. We try to think it isn't. We try to think it's something that is nature. No, no, no. When people have to pay more for the medication, that's their pocket. When people have to pay more for the health insurance, that's their pocket. When people do not get medical service and cannot work because they don't have medical service, that's their pocket. So, yes, but I think, in fairness to everybody, is how they're going to put out the message. I'm sure that uh, today Bill Moyer will find some way to criticize the Democrats and to praise the Republicans because that's what Bill does for a living. But the reality is, what would you have agreed? Let me put it in another way. Would you have agreed if the Democrats voted for a continued resolution and got nothing in exchange? Would you have been happy with that?
I accept the fact that the Democrats have very limited negotiating power.
And this is the one that they have.
Yes. I
And let me ask a second question.
Okay, all
Do
right.
you think that the Republicans are really pissed off that the Democrats closed down the U.S. government?
Oh no, the Republicans have always advocated for smaller government,
So
and so,
it,
so
to me, from a political strategist, it's a win-win. It pushes out the Democrat base to say, finally, you show some cojones, and the Republican, it goes down the government. Who cares?
right. I mean, and for the Democrats, okay, it shows that they got guts, that they're fighting for the people, and they're standing 10 toes down. All those other cliches, but at the end of the day, if this continuing resolution passes without them or with them, because some of the Democrats are saying, "Hey, I can't afford to lose my seat in the midterms. And my folks are calling me and they see the writing on the wall. It's either do or die. And at least let's save some jobs. At least let's save some of the programs that are not on the chopping block now. And we're not going to get what we want in healthcare, and people are going to lose out December 31st at midnight or January 1st midnight. Well, that's even more urgency for us to win in the midterms. That would be the argument I think some of these representatives, Democratic representatives who are in tough reelection battles or who may be stepping away and trying to set the stage for their future incumbent, a Democrat, hopefully. So I think the Democrats are in a very tough situation. The Republicans are getting what they want: smaller government.
Well, look, some smaller government was going to come no matter what.
Right,
Okay,
right, Jimmy.
we had Dodge, we had all that other stuff that was
Right.
going to come. The problem that you have is two parts. With your premise, you have the problem to say, well, now as a Democrat, I'm going to run and say, look what the Republicans did. And my answer to you would be, and what the fuck did you do? You just sat there and you gave them everything they wanted. You didn't even protest. You didn't even make a jest. You didn't even make a stand. You just said, you're fucked. You didn't even defend me. Ah, the
And
other way around, I could campaign now and say, hey, look, I forced the Republicans to refund for 2 years Obamacare, and you're welcome that you still have health insurance. That was our effort to do so. Hey, at least I went down with a fight. My problem is when people say, well, yeah, but the government closed. Look, I'm going to say this is not going to sound too popular. The federal government hires 2 million people. Social Security is operating, which the seniors are still collecting. VA is still operating, so they're
yeah,
still servicing you. The Department of Defense, the soldiers are not collecting money, but other than that, everything else is going because that's considered a national defense.
right.
Uh, you can't go to a national park. I understand that. The IRS is working without a salary. I can understand that.
Post office.
The 2 million people that vote for that work for the federal government, if they all vote Republican, they might throw the election over, but I don't think they're that dumb that they know that if they vote Republican, they might have a job again because their thing is they're going to be chopping them out. And something that you don't, that we all know. Do you ever go to YouTube and just put them there, and they're hiring for the Social Security Department, they're hiring for the TSA, they're hiring the same people that Dutch fired and threw them out. They still need it, so they
Yeah,
just go back and hire new people. What they're hoping is that the new people are going to be MAGA, and MAGA people are not trying. This is how stupid they are. MAGA people don't want to work for the federal government. They really don't. I'm sorry. That's their
right.
enemy. They don't want to work for the enemy. So people who are going to apply are going to be MPAs or Democrats because MAGA people hate the U.S. government. And they don't want to go home and say, hey, guess who I'm working for? You're working for the government? And that's not a MAGA thing to do. But, uh, you could have done the same thing that you did with the same excuse that you want to save employees. Come December, you have no standing. And I'm going to say this, you have no standing to prevent the legislation of dying. You have no standing, you have no power, you have no nothing, and you did nothing. Right now, to a certain thing, is that most people in this country don't understand why, if the Republicans control the House and the Senate and the White House, was the government shut down? And why do the Republicans still allow the 60 rule vote for the budget?
Right.
When
So
they took it away for judges and they took it away for other matters and just touched
right.
it for the budget. Because they're afraid that once they lose power, it's going to come down. And it's an excuse to not give in to everything that Donald Trump wants. So, yeah. But,
Sure.
is it going to backfire on the Democrats? Are Democrats not going to vote Democrat because of the shutdown? I don't think so. Are
Mhm.
Republicans going to vote for uh, against Democrats because they shut down the government? Hey, they will vote against it even if they didn't. So
That's true.
that's how polarized this country is. That a shutdown doesn't affect either party. A shutdown doesn't affect any party. The largest shutdown was in Trump won, 35 days. Now, if you say that he lost because of that, no, he lost because basically of many other things. By the time 20 came around, most people had forgotten about the shutdown, to be blunt. So it's really, really a matter of we are so polarized that they're going to vote Republican, even if they put a monkey as their candidate. And Democrats are a little bit different. If you put somebody they don't like, they won't vote for it. And that's something that Kamala did not put in her book. The reason she lost is because a lot of Democrats just stayed home. The
Yeah.
reason she lost is because she couldn't get the black vote. Oh, she got 72%. I'm sorry. Whoopee.
Yeah. She's
Biden, the first time around, got 87.
yeah.
And he's a white man who has track records of his day as a racist. Sorry.
Mhm.
He was very close to the senator from South Carolina.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's a story in itself. Jimmy, the last continuing resolution where the Democrats turned out to be on top, the Democrats were able to get 40 seats. If I remember correctly, they were able to win 40 additional seats in Congress. I believe it was the last time we were in this situation was under Trump, and they did pretty well at the midterms. And so again, healthcare was the leading issue that they staked their claim to holding out during that particular time. Now they were successful. What's frustrating for me is that okay, healthcare helped them win the midterm. So what have you done? And you kind of mentioned this. What have you done, Democrats, since then to avoid healthcare being the issue this time around and facing the chopping block? And I think the Democrats, the Biden administration purposely had the Obamacare subsidies expire at this time to help the Democrats in the midterm. Is this a strategy that maybe the Democrats may regret?
Well, I disagree with the premise, and
Okay.
let me tell you why. Um, it was negotiated to 25 with the clear view that Democrats thought that they were going to win the election when it was decided in 21, I think, if my memory serves me correct, and extended it for 4 more years. It was something that was negotiated with Republicans, and it was for the record, it was agreed about both of them, so that was fine. But in 2021, nobody thought that Donald Trump would come back in 24 and win. Not even Donald Trump, for the matter. So when it was negotiated in 21, I wouldn't give them that much credit. What they
Okay.
thought is that in 25 they would still be in control. There would be no. They would not lose the House like they did. They would not lose the Senate like they did. They
Yeah.
didn't think that would happen. Right now, Republicans are thinking they're not going to lose the House and the midterms, and most people will tell you yes, they're going to. That's why they're trying to redistrict everything
That's good.
to,
Yeah.
to prevent that from happening, which is going to be an interesting thing to see how that's going to happen. But be that as it may, the truth is that we're going to have to see uh, how this happens. But I don't think it was that it backfired them. They, from what I hear from two people who talked to me about this, there was an agreement for 4 years, which was a normal agreement. We'll address this again in 4 years. Uh,
Okay.
and it had been every 4 years. What they did not, nobody anticipated, and I don't think everybody anticipated, is that the Republicans would get reelected, Donald Trump, who was going to come in with people who were going to cut the way they have cut it. That view, I don't think, was prevalent in anybody's mind. As a matter of fact, there's still Democrats who think that what the Republicans are doing is going to help the country, which I disagree with, but I understand where they're coming from. But no, I cannot depart from the premise that Democrats said, hey, we're going to address this in 25 because we need. Look, health care is an issue for both parties.
Yeah.
The Republicans are against it, and the Republicans are for it. Yeah, but then you have other issues that we don't discuss. Uh, Realistically, the Republicans count on white people voting for them. The Democrats count on Hispanics and blacks and some whites to vote for them. Where was I?
Um, who votes for who and how they vote?
Okay, Republicans are going to vote for smaller government, and that includes no subsidies if possible.
Right.
They will reduce Medicaid because they they will reduce Medicare, so uh, people will buy advantage programs, so people will buy subsidies, and the people who give them money will be happy, and the other ones
Yeah.
would like to give it out without any subsidies, and I understand that. What is always fascinated me is that we're so polarized that if something goes wrong with Medicaid or Medicare, Republicans will blame the Democrats, and their people would agree with that. Right now, Trump has said publicly, this is a fact. I mean, we all know he lies, but he has said that the big, beautiful bill does not touch Medicaid or Medicare. That's a Democrat lie. And his people are buying that. That's how sad of a division this country has reached. Instead of saying, let's make America great again, I would say, let's make Americans talk to each other again because we're not talking.
And that's a heavy lift, Jimmy, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the backlash on either side of that particular issue happening. And with the president himself saying, hey, he hates his enemies. He hates those who cross him, and he will seek out vengeance. And
Yeah, and
as we
then you will
see,
have Comey arrested illegally and
there
charged
you go.
illegally. And if
Right.
you want, I could tell you something about Comey that most of you don't know, but goes without saying. Look, I agree, but there was a young man who went on Bill Maher's program last week, and he said something I don't think you people tend to understand. The kid who killed Charlie, I don't
Okay.
call him. I would not call him a liberal. I would not call him a woke. He did not come from that family. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, it's not there. We have people with mental health problems. The kid who shot at Trump, I can't call him a lefty either. I can't call him a liberal. As a matter of fact, the kid didn't even have a life. Both of
Yeah.
these kids were more into video games than anything else. They have a
Mhm.
mental health issue, and we don't want to address that. So if you shoot at a Democrat, you have to be a Republican. If you shoot at a Republican, you have to be a Democrat, even though I cannot prove it. Look, the young man who's in jail for shooting Charlie is a marksman, the result of people having no problem with people shooting at leisure, going to ranges and shooting 200 and 300 and 400 shots, buying uh, scopes that will take you out at 200 and 300 yards and even further, and that's it.
Right.
And not addressing that, hey, if you're cuckoo, I'm not going to let you drive. If you have mental health issues, you're not going to be able to do a lot of things. But if you have mental health issues and you've been Baker acted and you've been hospitalized and you have been saying crazy things, I don't have the right to take away your weapon. That is where we need to sit down and discuss that one. That's why I say talk to each other. Uh,
Right.
the young man said that there's a lot of people, young people, frustrated in this country that can't get a date, that are isolating themselves to a point that they don't leave their houses. They use Grubhub, they use Uber Eats, and all that. They do not leave their house. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, one of the things that the Big Bang showed us,
Mhm.
and most young kids order out, sit down in front of the TV, and eat, and most of them do it alone
Yeah.
or in their little clutch. But basically, at the beginning of the Big Bang, it was uh, Sheldon was alone. Then Leonard came. Then his two nerd friends came, and then his nerd friends got girlfriends, and then they incorporated them. But they never left that little niche. That is what America has become now. Most people
Especially
don't know who their neighbor is.
right. Right.
I'm,
Right. Exactly. Yes.
I'm leaving next week for a week of vacation. I talked to my neighbor who I've known for years, and hey, oh sure, don't worry, Jimmy, we'll take. But that part of things that is gone. So when we talk about talking to each other, I do. I really think we need to talk to each other because we are not communicating. We're assuming that if you're not one of me, you're my enemy. That's a dangerous assumption that most people are making.
Yeah.
And that this country, everything is okay when it's not really okay. So it's kind of interesting that we're going down this road. Is President Trump going to fire people? Probably.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to be hired back? Yes.
Mhm.
Why? Because you're going to need somebody to answer the phones when you call the Social Security office. You're going to need somebody to open the parks in the morning so you could go and see them. You're going to need somebody to do the work in the State Department and so on. That's going to happen. So it's really not going to change. The only thing that we need to do is realize that what Bad Bunny told us is true. In one of his songs, he says that both Republicans and Democrats are corrupt, and
Yeah.
that we've been having both of those governments in power for the last 70 years, and things have not gotten better. If anything, they have gotten worse. That's why you keep seeing people going MPA because they lost faith in both parties.
Yes.
Because we tend to think that the MPAs only come from one party. That's not true. I have people who call me from Tallahassee tell me what's going on and what's going on in the Republican Party. Two of them were I knew them for years as Republicans. Now they're MPAs, and you
Wow.
and I know Democrats who are now MPAs. So
Right. Yes, we do.
it's something that a lot of people do not understand and do not associate. It is sad to say this, but but we have reached a point that our governments have let us down, and I would say to a certain degree, both parties. Are Democrats happy with the leadership of the Democratic Party? No. Are true Republicans, and I'm going to call this a different thing, not a MAGA person, a true Republican, are they
Yeah.
happy with the leadership of their party? Not really. They're not. As a matter of fact, I had one somebody tell me that the Republicans are doing certain things that once Trump is out of power, we could have realized what they did. And I know two of them, but it's interesting that people do not know this. Uh, but realistically, if you run as a Democratic candidate saying that Chuck Schumer is wrong, your chances of winning are
Yeah.
okay.
Chuck's not going anywhere.
If you run and saying that you're going to go to Washington to straighten out your party, not the other party, your party, okay. I've been chastised because I've been criticizing my party. And for those of you who have said something to me, thank you. Those Democrats who said that I am a Dino, you don't even know what a Dino is.
Yeah.
But uh, uh, I am a true Democrat, and you are somebody who is drinking the expired Kool Aid. Expired Kool Aid. Uh,
And Jimmy, speaking of the Democrats eating their own, I read recently Axios article about our friend David Hogg and how David Hogg is having difficulty in following through on his promise of supporting progressive candidates, younger, more ambitious, and less incumbent incumbency, more focus on new stars versus the incumbents. And he's having difficulty. One of three of the candidates that his organization's leaders we deserve it has done well, and that one candidate who has done well is Madani, and leaders who we deserve contributed $300,000 to his campaign, kind of towards the end of the primary. The others didn't do so well, didn't fare so well in their elections, and the money, according to Axios analysis, or as it was stated in the article, a lot of that money is going towards the consultant class. Their donations, the $20 million that has been identified by Leaders We Deserve to support these upstart candidates, these new ambitious progressives, a lot of that money has gone towards the consultants. What are your thoughts about David Hogg, his current situation, how Democrats have said, hey, you're not supposed to be, taking on other Democrats. You're supposed to be supporting them.
they're full of shit.
All right.
Look, really, and now that you brought up one, let's talk about it. Let me show you your hypocrisy. You are supporting a man who had to quit as governor of the state of New York because he sexually harassed more than one woman.
Yep.
You're supporting a person who basically has a track record of horrible managing COVID.
Yes.
You're supporting a Democrat who basically has always, always tried to destroy the incumbent Democrat, Ken, mayor of New York, Mr. Adams, simply because he would not do what you told him to do. So don't come to me and say, hey, we have to be supportive of Democrats, because the first one who did that is called Mario Cuomo. I mean, Mr. Cuomo. Mario was his father. I'm sorry. Misspoke, great governor. Uh, I can't say the same about him. Uh, Cuomo has a Republican brother who has raised some money within the Republican Party and helped him out. But you don't talk about that either. Look, in a primary, Democrats run against each other. The fact that you think that the true Democrat is Cuomo is scary. But let's give you an announcement. Today, October 3rd, I'm predicting that short of an assassination, or that they find some, or that they're able to make up a lie at the last moment, which our party is famous for doing,
Okay.
uh, Mandani is going to be the mayor of New York City. Deal with it. And if out of three, and with the opposition of the Democratic Party, National Democratic Party, and their funds and their corrupt people, could only get one of the three, that is fine. Now, I've said that, David, don't waste your money on consultants. I know where you're coming from, that you're new in the game and you don't really understand how to play it. And these consultants are trying to tell you how to play it, and they're telling you how to do things correctly. I understand the temptation. And trust me when I say this, the one thing that Kamala did not address in her book is how much money her campaign wasted on consultants. But that's a story for another day.
Mercy.
So Democrats stop being such hypocrites. Say he's wasting money on consultants when you've been doing that for the last 30 years. You know, really, that's where you're going to come from. You know, I would agree. Neither of you should be spending money on consultants, but spending over $10 million to come up with the word weird, uh, kind of stupid. But that's where it came from. And by the way, you followed Kamala, you followed the directions of your consultants, and you were surprised that you lost.
Mm.
I'm not. So if you're gonna, the best you could come up with Axios is that he's spending money on consultants. You might want to check how much money the Democrats spend on consultants. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one thing. Try to find out how much Mario Cuomo has spent on consultants in the election for the mayor of New York City, and you're going to be surprised that it's triple what Mandami spent.
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So
Okay.
if that's the best you could come up with, yeah. Look, David is new in the game. David is trying his best, and for the record, he won one of three. But God, he won the mayor of New York. Mandami is going to be the next mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Mandami is giving you in a silver platter what you should be discussing.
Right.
Okay? And let me give you to something. If you think that what Mandami is doing is new, you're stupid. It's the economy stupid. What's he
Yeah.
talking about? Affordability, economy, free buses, economy, uh, uh, free supermarkets uh, with food for those who cannot afford it, economy,
Yeah.
rent control, economy. You could call it other ways, but it's the economy. And what got him where he is? The economy, stupid.
That's correct.
What are you talking about? That he's horrible. He's stupid. He's a liar. You could say all that. That's not going to get Democrats to vote for you,
That's
much
right.
less moderates and much less the middle. Look, I've said this, and I'm going to say it for the last time. The Democrats need to learn from the Republicans. They got a crazy person who got the party united
That's right.
and won elections. You are trying to be the party of everybody but the white working middle class. Oh, what do you say that? Because they have done nothing to get that vote. Nothing. They have conceived that to the Republican Party. And you don't have a leader. Sorry, you don't
Right.
have a leader.
That's right.
And when one comes like Bernie Sanders, you do everything you can to destroy it. When one comes like AOC, you do everything you can to destroy them. When one comes like Mandami, you do everything you can to destroy it. When one comes as David Hogg, you do everything you can to destroy it. So you eat your own, but you wonder why you can't win an election.
Wow.
Here's the answer. So, with that, which one do you want first?
Let's go with the Republicans.
Okay. The Republican fault of this week is kind of touches my heart.
Okay.
As you all know, they have decided to have Benito as the person who's going to sing in the Super Bowl for the second time. Whoa, he was? Yeah, when Shakira and Jennifer was there, he was one of the artists who was singing. People don't remember that, but he was one of them. They were the main liners. Don't misunderstand me,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but he was there. But now he's going to be the main line.
Bad Bunny.
Well, why can't they have an American? Say to break the news to you, those of us who were born in Puerto Rico, we're American citizens. But if you're ignorant that you don't know, that's a fuck up. But do you remember Bud Light?
Yes, I do, Jimmy. Yes, I do.
Who was the biggest opposition to Bud Light?
It was conservative men, white men.
No, no. But who was the voice of that? Who shot Bud Light and who was supposedly a rock and roller who wraps himself around the flag?
Oh, that would be Kid Rock.
Have you ever read his songs?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Okay.
there were some that I'm like, yeah,
Okay. This is what bothers me is because that's the spokesperson of the Republican Party. And people out there in podcasts are so stupid. Why didn't they put him? Because this Bud Bunny denigrates women. Well, you know something? You might want to listen to the lyrics of the person you want because he wants to feel your mouth next to his.
yeah. I I don't see Bad Bunny denigrating women. I think he's, despite some of my objections to some of his stuff, I think he raises women.
But this is the thing. Has anybody taken the time to read his lyrics?
I don't think a lot of the people who are against him performing as a headliner at the Super Bowl have. One
No, no.
because
But
it's
I don't even have to go there. Their spokesperson, their model, the person that they say should be there and not Bad Bunny.
mhm.
Okay? Their rock and roll hero, the guy that shot the cans of Bud Light. If you take 2 minutes and you look up the lyrics of his songs,
Yeah.
they're filthy.
Yeah.
Okay, he talks about blowjobs in his songs. Okay, but he's okay because he's a white boy, and he's okay because he's a MAGA.
Yeah.
Your fuck up is saying, don't put Bad Bunny, put this guy, but this guy's filthier than Bad Bunny, and in a language that you can understand, for the record. Okay, so that's one. Uh, the other that I find it interesting is that couldn't they find an American? Are you really that stupid? But that's fine.
Japanese in
Uh,
America.
let's get to the Democrats.
Okay.
This one is kind of interesting, but please bear with me.
All right.
You are still attacking the liberal part of your party.
Okay.
You are still trying to push the liberal part of your party away. You are trying to damage AOC,
Yeah.
who's a member of your party. And this is the part that I would talk to the establishment of their hypocrisy. They're trying to harm Bernie and AOC. AOC because she has announced that she might run against Chuck Schumer.
Right. That's correct.
Okay? And she should not do that because Chuck, you're at the age that you should be thinking of retirement, just like Durbin did in Illinois and some of the other people are doing. You're at that same fucking age. Get out. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. But let me destroy them. They had their friends pay hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to the mayor of New York to get out because in their mind, those people that go to vote for Como. How stupid and politically ignorant are you? That scares me because if you think that we might lose 2028 because you are politically stupid.
Mm.
Okay, they're not going to vote for uh, uh, Como. The black community does not want Como in the New York City. They have been betrayed by him. They have been screwed by him, so he's not going to get their vote. Okay. Plus, in fairness to the African American community, they were not so committed to Adam either. Just for the record. Okay.
That's true.
So you are trying to push to defeat Mandami because he's a liberal. But you're penalizing David Hogg for backing a liberal against, and let me put it this way, Cuomo is not the mayor of New York City.
That's right.
And Adams is no longer a Democrat, so it's an open primary. But you want your boy in there because your boy will deliver to you. Well, guess what? That is your fuck up of the week. Trying to push out the youth of your party, trying to badmouth the youth of your party, and trying to keep your power. At this point, Chuck Schumer, it's time for you to retire, embrace, and go into the sunset because you don't deserve to be a state senator anymore. And with that, I will close the program today with this proviso. Give me your comments. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you hated it. Tell me if you think of any subject you would like me to discuss. I will listen to you. I might pick it up. And if you want to write something down that you think can improve or even disapprove this program, I can understand. Remember, your enemy is not the U.S. government. It is not even your neighbor. Your enemy is your government that gets elected by keeping us divided. With that, I will see you maybe in 2 weeks because next week I'm going to take a little vacation and get live. I'm going to have some piña coladas and all that other stuff. So, with that, have a great week and I will see you next time. Take care.
We'll see you the next time, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
Take care. You too. Thank you.